All right, here we go. SPY recap. We actually got a nice bounce today. We've been looking for it. We've been thinking about it, and it actually happened. Had a nice bounce all the way to 502 and change. Kind of close to that 504 level that I was highlighting in here on the hourly. And who knows? Maybe we can kind of find a little bottom in this 490, 498 zone, and keep this Momo train going to the upside. So the only thing is, it did have kind of a crazy morning. It had the classic gap up, pre-market fade, and then this fade even extended into a little bit of the early afternoon, 11:20. Then we had the late rip all the way to 2:30, then the 2:30 fade. So kind of a roller coaster of a day, but kind of also par for the course with how we've been running the markets for the past probably 2 years, to be honest. But a lot of this, it fades and you think you're going to have a good long, and then it gaps. So you think you missed it, and then it fades, and then it rips. So it's kind of one of those deals. So we did have a couple names that I've been talking about put in some nice work today to the green side. This ZIM, I was highlighting this nice little flag here on the hourly. This thing just exploded. I mean, clean move, 10 to 11 basically, clean. And yeah, Friday we were kind of talking about this here, zoning in on this. So that turned out to be a beauty. Absolute beauty today, just straight up all day. And if you remember, I was highlighting the moving averages, which I like to take a peek at, and this is starting to come into that squeeze zone. I like a good squeeze on the moving averages here. So this could potentially have some legs. We've got a good start, a very good start, and if the SPY can put in another leg up, this could continue. So still on watch, but that was a good one. We had, I'm going to talk about that in a sec, RBLX, which I'd been talking about for the first. Finally, I was thinking it was setting up here today. I was like, oh great, this is actually going to at least give us something. And it put in a nice little move here, makes the move up, and just gets absolutely slapped when the SPY makes this 230 fade here, and just gave it all back, and now it's back down. So this is just kind of in the doghouse right now. But like I'd been saying, I've said it a bunch, but big picture, this 33 zone, if as long as it holds that, I still stand on this long bias swing trade. So that's that. We had, that's right, we had the cannabis that I was talking about the other night. This is potentially setting up for another leg up here. Look at this nice flag, this nice tight action that I'm constantly talking about. This is on the hourly. We also have ACB putting in kind of a similar look, not as juicy, but it's good to see a little. I mean, because Tilray's done. What are some of the other ones? I think SNDL maybe. SNDL, yeah. I mean, CRON maybe. My main focus is on CGC. I like what I see here. Now this could potentially be a fader also, just because in the same way that I had been talking about Macy's. Kind of getting tight in here on the daily, looking for a fade. That could happen to this CGC as well. I mean, the cannabis sector can be funky. It can be very streaky, and sometimes it takes longer to set up than you might think. But this could be the start of something. But this could be the start of something bigger in terms of a trend. But regardless of that, this intraday setup here is looking nice, and I will be watching it. This 780 level is key. 780, 810, key levels. What else do we have? This GoEv, I actually kind of picked up on this. I think it was this morning, and I was like thinking, you know, this kind of looks nice. I talk about the moving average squeezers, so we had that. We kind of had the... This is what I would call a C grade trade, though. It's a low grade trade, but in terms of a day trade, I thought I saw an opportunity, and it had this... It had the classic day trade move. You see it on the daily chart, and you think it looks nice. And you see a little something here, and then we get this action where you're floating around, consolidating, kind of looking nice. Now this is a 1-day chart, and then you just get this huge crack, and then it decides midday to just rally and go nuts. I mean, that's why I say some of these C grade low price day trades, holding these things overnight, if you're just kind of running and gunning, it's just nuts. I mean, I thought this thing was done when it put in this crack, and for it to then do this, I mean, I was right, but I had the wrong approach. I was too narrow with my entry. If I was looking at that more of a big picture, I mean, even on the hourly though, that looks pretty nasty. So just a tricky one, but I thought it was a good visual there. Couple others. This Krispy Kremes didn't even bounce. I was surprised, but I think this is going to be a nice one. If you remember, I was showing the monthly chart on this. I mean, this thing is crazy. Look at how boxed in this is. I mean, this is how you just get the most clean risk reward, you know, potential mega winners. I mean, 1290. I mean, this is one of those ones we got to just be patient. And when we see the trade, that's what I always say. I say you got to see the trade. We're going to know, and this thing's going to just going to pay us. So Krispy Kreme is still on the heavy radar. It's just not performing right now. Everything is a little funky. Let's go through a few of these others. BYND. This is basically, you know, we got this one in the dumpster out back, but we still watch it. I don't even know if, you know, I was saying in a previous videos that this weekly 1 year, I used to like this. I'm starting to think even this doesn't look good. I mean, obviously the daily looks like crap, but I was hanging my hat on this weekly 1 year, but even this now, it's tempting when you see this big volume come in, because the way I look at it is, you see this big volume, there's something brewing, there's money inbound, potential move, you know. So that's that. Reddit, I'm kind of still just watching Reddit, see if something crazy happens. A little action here on the hourly, but I wanna really see. I need to see it clear. I think a few of these Bitcoin related names, I had brought up this. I think this is a mining company, but this weekly chart looks beautiful. Look at this. I'm a little bit of a nervous Bitcoin kind of trader, but there's certainly some big opportunities. This riot, I saw Mara, some Green Days. Let's see, what else do we have? We had Chewy. We like to look at Chewy. Another one, kind of like Krispy Kreme. There, just a fade. It's never good when the market has that big of a move and you barely even bounce. I mean, that's obvious, but that's pretty alarming. That's a total red flag in terms of any buying. You should be hands off. So let's see. Also, as I was saying, this EV, I'm kind of watching to see if we get any type of flow into the EV lithium sector. I feel like it's just been so beaten down. This Rivian, I mean, look at this. This thing was 3 years ago. This thing was up in the hundreds. It's now 872. So I mean, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to bounce, but potentially we got an opportunity there. Couple little other ones here. This is another like EV charging battery. The Macy's that I talked about. I mean, it had a solid red day here, but everything did on that Friday, so sometimes shorts just, that's the thing I find with shorts versus longs is sometimes shorts can just, for me at least, they can just kind of fizzle around, whereas I feel like longs, my entries are a lot more precise, and I can get in and be near the action a lot sooner. So just kind of a thought. All right, well, that's going to be it here. Hopefully the SPY can keep this momentum and we can start to build over that 500 and start to make our move up to 504, 508, 512, kind of start making a run here. So we will be back tomorrow.